For our safety, my father repeats the same words every day. When the police stop you, the first thing to do is show your hands, put them where they can see them, and do not move. If you don't cooperate, you could lose your life. We listened, not fully understanding, but I remembered it. On my 16th birthday, I went out driving with my friend Mike. Suddenly, a police siren sounded behind us. We pulled over right away. As the officer walked up, my first reaction was to place my hands on the dashboard. I told Mike to do the same. He didn't take it seriously. The officer asked him for his ID. Mike asked back what he had done wrong. The officer said he changed lanes without signaling and told him to turn off the music. Mike said it wasn't necessary. I told him to turn it off. The officer kept urging him, but he still wouldn't cooperate. I told him to hurry. He said he had the right to disagree. At that point, the officer lost his patience. One hand rested on his weapon and he shouted for Mike to step out of the car. Mike finally turned off the music and opened the door. I took out my phone to record. The officer yelled at me. I panicked and dropped my phone immediately. The officer searched Mike, found nothing illegal, then took his ID back to the patrol car to check it. He warned him not to move. Mike saw me looking for my phone and stepped closer to talk. I told him to stand back, but he leaned into the car again, picked up a brush, and started showing off. The next second, I screamed. I pushed the door open to check on him, but the officer shouted at me to stop. I was handcuffed. The officer began searching urgently.
Hey, where's the weapon? Okay, the gun! Where is it? What gun?
When the officer saw the brush next to Mike, it was already too late. He took an innocent life. At the station, the police barely mentioned the incident. Instead, they kept asking if Mike had committed other crimes. Because my uncle is an officer, I was released. The officer involved faced no consequences. My uncle told us that since the officer had no prior record of racial misconduct, the chance of him being cleared was very high. I was shaking with anger. I hesitated about testifying for Mike, but the gang leader came first. He warned my father to keep my mouth shut, or our family would pay the price. That's when I learned Mike had been working for him. If I spoke out, the police would trace everything back to him. On the day of Mike's funeral, I stood by the coffin and couldn't say a word. When the casket was placed into the hearse, people flooded the streets. They shouted for justice and demanded accountability. The police arrived to control the scene. Both sides stood face to face, and I, the only witness, stood in the back, silent. Community leaders came to our home, asking me to speak up. My mother refused, citing my safety. One day I went to school as usual, but I saw students preparing to walk out. They were protesting Mike's death. At that moment, I knew I couldn't run anymore.